Hello. So today I want to talk about taxes. Because taxes and the services that we receive with our taxes that we pay into are just not proportionate. And some of the driving factors as to why our family has decided that we want to work to go to America. So I'm going to cite some statistics here, some of it from BC and some of it the national average. I'm not a tax expert. I am by no means a certified professional chartered accountant or anything like that. I'm just your average Joe living from paycheck to paycheck in Canada, struggling to get by like everybody else and feeling lost and hopeless. And there's still a spark of hope. I know that in this country, I may not have that hope, or that dream may not be alive here for most of us. But in America, there's still a beacon of shining light there, where I still feel like there's a future and a way forward, where you can have a beautiful house, you can have some land, you can have a nice job, and you can still have a little bit of disposable income left, and there's still hope. So I live in British Columbia, Canada, one of the most heaviest taxed places in Canada. We've had carbon tax since, I believe, 2008, and now it's on par with the federal carbon tax, so it goes up as the federal carbon tax goes up, which I think is a complete joke, if you ask me. I haven't seen a reduction in fires or floods or tornadoes or mudslides because of this carbon tax. I'm just wondering how much more tax we gotta pay before all these things stop. So I'm still waiting to see. So maybe one of these days we'll see, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm gonna cite a study here from the Fraser Institute here in BC. Titled "Taxes Consume More Than 45% of Household Income for the Average Canadian Family." And it says here in 2022, the average family, including, single individuals that earned cash income of $106,430, so $106,430, paid total taxes equaling $48,199. So that means the total tax bill that the average Canadian family in 2022 amounted to 45.3% of the household income. So this is larger than the combined 35.6% of household incomes that families spent on food, clothing, and shelter. So all these taxes, I mean, it's everything. It includes, your federal taxes, your provincial taxes, your local government taxes. This also includes your income tax, your payroll tax, your health tax, your sales tax, your property tax, your fuel tax, your carbon tax, and the list goes on and on. So when you combine all of the taxes up together that you're paying, it's nearly 50% of your income. So let that sink in. 50% of your income goes to tax. Okay? That's a hard pill to swallow. And every time I turn a paycheck, it's a hard pill to swallow. Because it's ruthless. It is ruthless. That's a lot of tax. And it's, quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm not doing it for the rest of my life. I'm not paying these taxes and this inflation. And there's brighter beacons on the horizon. Okay, we just spent like a month in America, and that was some of the driving factors that made us decide, okay, well, there's still hope here. Everything's booming in America. Everything's going. You look at the prices of houses; they're half price. Half price. The wages. They're better wages. You go to the gas station, It costs like $2.30 a liter. You guys, the Americans, they work in gallons. That's almost 4 liters that they get for $2.30 American. So, we're paying almost $1.75 per liter here for gas. So, that's seven upwards of $7-8 a liter or a gallon. It's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, and then the sales tax. There were some states we went to, they had zero tax. Whatever the sticker says is what you're paying. So if it's $29.99, like in Oregon, that's what you're paying. Some other places like California, it's more expensive. They have more higher taxes. Washington has higher taxes. But Florida, it's only 6% sales tax, which is still half price of what we pay here in BC. Here in BC, we're paying 5% to the feds and then 7% to the province. So that's 12%, right? So, your carbon tax, for instance, like we can't afford to live in town. Okay, we just can't. It's you go get a little place, an apartment or something in town in the local community over there, and it's double, sometimes triple. So we live about 25 minutes south of town, where we got a little spot. So that means it's a 25 minute drive. So it's about 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers to town, there and back, right? So we got to spend that extra money on gas. And since this carbon tax has been going up, it's really been hurting us, especially with the truck. We recently got a 4-cylinder car to help save on gas, which it's nice. It helps. But this carbon tax works out to be about 17.6 cents a liter, which is it's crazy. That's so much extra tax. Like just to go fill up the truck, it's $20 extra just in carbon tax, and then you get taxed on top of the carbon tax. So it's a tax on tax, right? So it's $12 extra to fill up an SUV or a minivan than it used to be. It's getting crazy. Like we heat our house with propane here in our trailer, and the carbon tax, it was $1,200, or sorry, it was $1,100 for no, it was even less than that. It was like $1,000 and something to fill up the whole big propane tank for the winter, and the carbon tax was $198. Okay, and then the tax was $60 something. So $250 extra you had to pay just to survive. And heat is non-negotiable. Okay, you don't get to decide whether you want to heat your house or not. That's mandatory. You have to, or you won't survive the winter. It's minus 30 up here right now, and it's like that most of the winter. It's crazy. So just to have heat in your house, it's an extra $250 on top of your bill. That's already $1,000 and something. Okay, so that's crazy. So we've chosen Florida. Florida, they got no state income tax. So can you imagine getting a paycheck? Can you imagine getting a paycheck and they don't take any tax off of there from the state income tax? It's like you get your paycheck. It's nice. That'd be nice. And then the sales tax is it's half of what we're paying now. And it really burns me that we work so hard here, and we don't get any of the stuff that we need to survive. Like we're working and working and working. We can't qualify for a mortgage because we're self-employed. We own the restaurant. The wife works in Northern Health part-time to supplement the income, and it's still not good enough. And then meanwhile, we don't even live in America, and we reached out to a realtor in Florida, and just like that, boom, okay. You're looking at this nice piece of land, an acre and a half over at the lake in the Emerald Coast there in Florida. Yeah, no problem. We'll finance you. Not a problem. Boom. So we own land in Florida now. We can't own land in our own country that we work in and pay taxes in, but we can own it in Florida, no problem. It makes zero sense to me how crazy it is here. And the restrictions and the rules and the regulations and the red tape and everything else. So, taxes, being taxed to no end, 50% of your income basically goes to tax. And right off the bat. So it's what's the point? What's the point of going and working extra to pay more, get taxed even more and harder? Because the more you work, the higher tax bracket you go into. It's like you get punished for working. So why would anybody want to go, work harder or work better or, invest into this country or, invest into their employees or their business if they're just going to get taxed so badly, right? Like that kind of stifles like development. Kind of, if you ask me, if you tax people that bad, why is someone going to want to go and say, okay, I'm going to go work an extra 20 hours this week, but then you get taxed on all the overtime, you're only making 10 cents on every dollar. It's like, why? Why would I do that? Why would I go work for 10 cents on every dollar? It makes no sense. So a lot of these things is the driving factor. The economy is slowing down. The policies our governments put into place, it's just really stifled development here and really restricted businesses from thriving. The inflation from the out of control spending. Everything, the carbon tax has just destroyed industries, okay? Some of the anti-energy bills that our government's put in place has just, we live up here in the wild north in BC, and it's logging, that's the industry, logging and minerals, mining, and every time they open their mouth, another wood mill shuts down, okay? It just destroys another community, and then that entire community is devastated. Houston their sawmill went out of business. Everything's just wrecked over there. Vanderhoof, one of their mills just went out of business. Fraser Lake, Fort St. John, and there's countless others that are just one by one, they're just disappearing. And these softwood tariffs, they're not going to help anything. It just makes it, it's too expensive to even go to work. And that's our industry up here. People, they go cut down trees, they plant trees, they, get the wood to build your homes, build the infrastructure, ship it to the US, ship it all over the place. And it's just, it's sad because when we traveled across the United States, everywhere we went, no matter if it was like small little place, I mean, there's some little places where nothing's going on, but smaller communities and little bedroom communities and they're building so much, all brand new subdivisions, brand new shopping malls, brand new health centers, brand new commercial buildings. Everything's under construction and building over there. In almost every state we went to, it was like that. It was just crazy. Everything was going crazy. And then you come back here and it's like there's nothing happening. They're not building nothing. They're not doing nothing. They're just up on TV complaining that everything's like, what do we do now? What, I don't know. So what I know is don't lose hope, Canadians, okay? I know it seems broken right now, and I'm just a average Canadian working paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. I'm by no means rich. Our credit cards are in debt. We have car loans. We're in debt. We're living paycheck to paycheck, just scraping by. Okay, we're not rich. We live in a trailer park. Okay, but there's still hope. Okay, I know it feels like there's no hope, but there's still hope. That if you go to work and you take your 50% tax rate like a champ and you save up and maybe open a business, do a side hustle, something else, and you have a dream, you can open a business in the United States of America and you can move your family there and you can go live and work and you can have a chance at that dream And you can stay there indefinitely if you got a good business that's making money. You can stay there. There is options. Okay? So don't feel like all hope is gone, because I know it feels like that for a lot of us. That's how it feels for us. That we'll never own nothing, we'll never have nothing, and that's quite frankly the reality of the situation right now. And I don't think it's going to ever get fixed. It's going to be like this for a long time. Doesn't matter who's in charge. The system's broken right now. So we easily, without anything, got a piece of land in Florida. No questions asked. We make our monthly payments. It's all good. We have our land in Florida. We can't do the same here for some reason. I don't know why. Why it's impossible. Why it's so hard. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay? So there is hope. There's still a dream. If you have a good business, or you got a good business idea, start saving your money. Open your business now and take your taxes like a champ until you save up enough money. Because then, once you get enough money, you can make an investment. You can either buy a business in the United States, or you can take your existing business that you've built and move it to the United States. And there is hope. There's a future. You can go down there and you can make that American dollar. You can live that American dream. You can, pay American taxes, which are a fraction of the cost of taxes here in Canada. Like us, like our dream eventually is we want to have a beachfront or right at the beach restaurant. Okay, so that's what we're working towards. Right now, we started off last year. We started off with a party rentals business. We used that party rentals business to build a little food truck, just the minimum specs to get by to pass inspection. We worked that thing silly this summer. Then over the winter, we got ourselves into a arena where we work our business, because it's too cold to do the food truck. It's just minus 30. Oh, it's way too cold. So we got ourselves in an arena. We talked to some people. We got ourselves in an arena, and we've been serving food there and building a rapport. Then a little tiny restaurant came up in that town for rent, so we decided to rent that. So now we're getting away from the food truck for now, because it's with the price of gas and travel and hotel and the space in between town and events up here. It's hours apart. So we're gonna get into our little restaurant, and we're gonna work that silly all summer long, like 6-7 days a week, and then right into the winter full time. And then once we get all of our debts paid down and our expenses and stuff like that, we're going to start building a food truck to spec. I'm not sure if I'm going to build it here in Canada myself, like I did with the last one, or if I'm just going to save up a bunch of money. And I've seen some places in Florida where you can get a food trailer built for like $34,000, $40,000 American, which is still half the price of what it costs here to build one. Because for a used food trailer here in Canada, they want $80,000, $70,000, $60,000 for a used one. That's not even half as good or half as big as the ones you can get in America. So even if you do the conversion rate and everything, it's still cheaper to have. It's like almost half the price cheaper to get it done in America. Like, you want a fully outfitted top of the line trailer up here, you're $150,000. Down in the States, with the conversion rate of Canadian money, maybe 60. It's like, it's 60, 70. It's half price. So we're gonna take our food trailer and we're going to take it down to the States. That's what's going to get us in the States, is that investment in the food trailer and all the stuff we had to do that. That's going to get us into the States. We already got our business set up down there. It's just sitting there idling, waiting for us to show up. It's going to get us into America through immigration and get our visas. And then we're going to work that trailer until we can get ourselves a beachfront restaurant down on the Emerald Coast. And we're just going to work it and work it and work it and just live the dream. That's it. If you got a dream and you want to be somewhere and you want to do something, don't let anything hold you back. I know it seems hopeless, but there's a future. And unfortunately, maybe for some, it may be in this country, but maybe for some, you're looking south like we are, and we're saying, hey, there's nice sandy beaches down there. There's half the amount of a fraction of the cost of taxes. Everything's a lot cheaper, and you can make more money. So hang in there, Canadians, and other entrepreneurs too, not necessarily Canadians. I mean, I'm from Canada. I'm directing this to other Canadians that are feeling this way. But hang in there. There is hope. There is a future. And I'm going to show you along the journey here a lot of the things we've done, how we started, how we've gotten things rolling in America, so you can get yourself established, you can get yourself bank accounts established, start building credit down in America, get yourself situated so that when you make the transition, it's super, super smooth. It takes time. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen unless you're rich. If you're rich, you can just go down there right now, purchase a business. You'll be there in a few months. But I'm talking to the average Canadian here that's just like us, that's struggling from day to day, working their buns off and barely getting ahead, and has a dream and wants to have something, okay? I'm talking to you. So hang in there. I'm going to be posting more videos, and we're going to go on this journey together, and I'm going to share everything that we've done to get there. And if you have a little bit of hard work in you and a little bit of a dream and a spark of hope, then there is a future. So join us on this journey.